Welcome back to our podcast, Eligible In, where we feature eligible guests that you can date. My name is Devin, and I'm your host. Today, we are so excited to introduce Justin. But before we do that, just a friendly reminder that if you enjoy this conversation, please give us a follow on social media and be sure to subscribe to us on your preferred podcast platform so that you are notified when new episodes drop. So, Justin, tell us a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, what brought you to Chicago, things like that.
Sure. Well, of course, my name's Justin. I'm 28 years old, and I moved to Chicago in 2021 after college to kind of start working. I actually grew up. I've always, born and raised in Chicago, and so really coming into the city after college was just coming back to where I had grown up. So I started working out of college at City Year, which was teaching, and that was really fun. So my friends, my family are here. That's what's brought me to the city, and it's been a great time. Really, the last 4 years, 5 years now, have just it's been excellent.
And sorry, did you say that you went to school in Chicago as well, or you went away from for
Yeah.
college and then you came back?
Yeah, so I actually went down to Champaign for college down at the University of Illinois.
Oh,
I was
cool.
studying astronomy and chemistry.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. It's awesome. What do you do for work now? You mentioned Citier. Was that your job out of college? Do you still have that job?
Oh, so yeah, that was the first job I had out of college. I was teaching computer science and physics to ninth graders. The extra fun part of that experience, though, was that it was the first semester after quarantine and COVID. So it was the first semester with everyone being back in person, um, getting used to interacting with people again. So there were definitely some challenges, but we made the most of it, and it was a really great team at the school. But it wasn't really quite what I wanted to do. It wasn't quite meeting my needs, so I ended up doing a couple of different jobs, but then I ended up at my current job. I'm currently a property manager and acting chief building engineer.
Really cool. What
Yeah.
does that involve?
So if you go into a building, the most thing that most people want out of a building is that it's warm or cool and has the lights on. So that's basically what I do is just make sure that it's either as hot as it's supposed to be, as cold as it's supposed to be, the lights are on. I'm not an expert in all of like plumbing and all that different stuff, but I have to know enough to be able to talk to the people that are experts and have them fix things for me.
Okay.
And, do what I can, but you save money if you can do stuff yourself.
Totally. I can attest to that. Be great if I was handy. What do you love most about what you're doing now for work?
I think what I love most is the place that I work. I work for it's an addiction recovery treatment center and a community center and a community food pantry and a church and a bunch of different things rolled into one. So basically every time I fix something around there, I'm helping just everyone in the community. So I think that's what I like the most about it. It really puts a lot of meaning into everything you do during the day.
That's so cool. I think I can't speak for most, but I think when I think of property management, I think of like a shiny new building and you're giving tours and, you know, trying to get people to hand over their first and last. This sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot more fulfilling.
I would say the main difference for that when I started this job versus my last job, in my last job, I think it's a familiar feeling. I just didn't feel like I wanted to get out of bed. I just wanted to lay in bed, sleep in, do something else with my day. I just didn't want to go to work. This job gets me out of bed in the morning. I wake up before my alarm now sometimes because I'm like, no, I have to do that thing. And even if I'm tired, I can still drag myself onto my electric scooter. And then once the cold hits me, I'm awake.
Mm. So it's this sort of like renewed sense of purpose makes
Yeah.
you excited for the day. Or even if you're not excited to wake up, you know that you have to be there for these people that rely on, this
Yeah. Even if I've had a crummy day, a crummy weekend, I'm in a bad mood, all of that kind of goes out the window because it's like, hey, if I feel bad, that's fine. But if I don't go into work, then like at least 500 people are going to be impacted, if not more. And
Mhm.
so that having that mindset of responsibility does make you do things when you don't feel like doing them.
Yeah. Are there any regulars there that you become friendly with?
Um, in a way, I get my job versus a lot of the other jobs. My job brings me around the whole building. So in a way, I kind of get to make friends with everybody because I'm always in one part of the building talking with someone about their issues and their department, and then so I guess in a way that's the other part I like is that I know everybody there and they know me and we all can just work together as a team and that's what you have to do to work a building that big.
Yeah, it sounds social too, so
Right.
hopefully there's some fun component to it.
It's a nonprofit, so we're usually too busy for fun, but we do try to get our laughs in when we can, cut some cake every once in a while.
Yeah.
But when you're nonprofit, you're trying to make every dollar count as much as possible. So you end up trying to make the most of your minutes and your hours.
Mhm.
But we do have fun.
Good, good. Glad to hear it. Always room for fun. Um, you it sounds like have lots of interests and hobbies outside of your job, and I think you mentioned scootering too, but I'd love to hear more about things that you do outside of work.
So outside of work, I think two of my biggest lifelong hobbies has been I mentioned I studied astronomy and chemistry. That's not what I ended up getting my degree in, but astronomy has been something I've been interested in. I just love space and reading about it. So that is not quite fun, but outside of work, sometimes I'll just like read about space and physics. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's a technical. And then the more fun thing is like video games, board games, card games, just anything where you can get together with people and yeah, play a game. Otherwise, I like to read in general. I also do writing, poetry, short stories, and I also like to just go out and explore what's in the neighborhood. I check out a jazz bar, do some karaoke, try some new foods. Chicago is the type of city where you can just go out with no plan, stop somewhere that looks interesting, and have a different kind of night every night. So that's kind of one of my hobbies is just to see what's out there, what I might run into and find.
Yeah, just to wander. What's your karaoke song?
Nobody would sing it, but it's a Black Sabbath song, "Symptom of the Universe."
Okay. Then that's your
Yeah,
go-to?
yeah.
Okay.
It's never on any of the karaoke boards, but once in a while I find it and it's like, "Alright, let's go. This was made to happen."
What do you do for a backup if they don't have that?
If they don't have that, then I'll just do, like, Paranoid or Iron Man or Take on Me, because once out of every 10 times I hit the high note.
Okay. Really show off your vocal range, your vocal abilities. I like it.
Once out of every 10 times.
Is there do you also have an interest in sort of like building and creating? And I guess what do you like about that process and that side of your mind?
Oh, so yeah, one of my hobbies is like I built my own computer when I was like 12 and I've just been upgrading it since. So I just like to explore things. So like that's what I did with my computer. I had the computer and the parts and put it together, but I didn't know anything about it. So I had to learn more about it as I was going and building it. And then that kind of curiosity goes to a lot of different things. So I like to, well, I mean, mainly it's with computers and sometimes I'll do little software projects. I'm not very good at it, but mainly I just like to like do world building and like creative writing. And what I really like the most is the learning process, but that feeling of like I learned as I went. I had to figure out what I needed as I went. Like it's versus someone telling you how to do something and having that, like, eureka moment yourself, like, you put 2 rocks together and started fire, kind of. You're like, "Oh, I can do it. I can do
Yeah.
it. I know what I'm doing. I'm an adult."
Yeah, there's so much satisfaction to that too, just like I did this myself. I can't believe you built a computer when you were 12 and it's still running. Is that
Well, all the parts have changed since I built it.
okay?
It's just the same case now.
Okay.
Kinda
Do
like the
you
Ship of Theseus, I guess.
okay. Do you use AI a lot to help you do things like that, like software projects more efficiently, or are you really like building from scratch?
So I don't really need the AI too much. I think it is a helpful tool in that instance, but I just grew up trying to figure it out by myself with I mean, I had Google searches which are kind of close, but It's basically just try to find information, you test stuff out, see if it works, see if it's relevant, and a lot of trial and error. The AI cuts down a lot of that trial and error for you.
Mhm. Which it sounds like is the fun part for you.
Yeah. 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 But, well, so let me give you an example. I just upgraded my computer to have 128 gigabytes of RAM. That's way more RAM than anyone needs. And now, thanks to AI, RAM's expensive. But I put it in there and I couldn't get my computer to run and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't running. And it would have taken me probably a week or two to troubleshoot all the things and get it working. But thanks to using AI to troubleshoot it, it only took me 3 days.
Mhm. 3 days still feels long. Wow. That's
It felt
commitment.
long. It did feel
I thought you were gonna say, like, 3 minutes, 3 hours.
I
Okay.
thought it was gonna be 3 minutes, 3 hours,
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
What it sounds like you're a huge fan of Chicago. You've been there most of your life. What are your favorite spots around town?
Well, I've been to a lot of places around town, so it really depends on what you're trying to do and what the vibe is. So, I mean, if I could go anywhere and just spend the day there, or yeah, if I just am taking a vacation day and going somewhere in the city, what I like to do is I like to go down to Chinatown, I like to walk around a bit, but I don't like to walk around the main street. I like to walk down the side streets and look at the houses. The public school that's over there is really cool. Outside the community center, they have this really great statue of Confucius that has like his history etched on it and stuff. And so that really gives you a perspective of like, all right, these are the people and the culture and the people living here. And it's not just this tourist attraction that's a block away from me. But then I'll end the day at that main drag. One of my favorite restaurants is called The Noodle. It's a Vietnamese Thai restaurant. And for
Yeah.
$12, you'll get a gallon of pho noodle. And it is the best pho noodle ever.
Sounds like a
And
bargain too.
it is in this economy, then and the avocado boba smoothie doesn't sound like it would be great, but it is great and refreshing, and I get it every time.
It sounds like something Tom Brady would be into.
He's got great taste then.
It sounds like so in talking about your sort of building and creation process being trial and error, is that how you approach life too in terms of like future planning? Are you more of a go with the flow type and seeing where the day takes you? Or do you have like a clear vision of your future and where you want to be?
Hmm, I think it's a little bit of both. That's kinda so through trial and error, what I have found is that you kinda have to be able to do both. You need to be able to s what's the way to p you need to be able to, like, set a destination, like, in the GPS and have a place that you're headed, but say you're going on a road trip, well, you might find some places on the road you wanna stop along the way, and you need to be open to that, or maybe the tire blows out, or you forgot your keys and have to backtrack after you've already gone a state over. You know, I know someone that happened to with a push start car, so that can happen these days. But so anyway, to use that analogy, that's how I try to approach it. Like I have a plan, I'm aiming for it. I can get there if I need to, but I know things are going to happen along the way, and I just kind of got to deal with it as it comes and try to not let it hold me back too much.
Hmm. What would you say are some things or one thing, maybe it's many, that you're hoping to create or to accomplish in the next few years?
Well, I guess the main thing is I want to finish getting my certification so I can be chief building engineer instead of acting chief building engineer.
Okay.
That would be really nice. It would also help me feel like I know what I'm doing more. And then outside of that, I'd like to learn more about I wanna learn more about music and start because 'cause I've always been good at, like, mixing music, but not so much at, like, creating sounds myself, so maybe learn an instrument or get more into, like, actually making music versus just producing it, and also getting stuff like that. I just want to explore some of the things that I don't know and build projects out like that. But the main project is probably just learning what I'm currently doing and getting those certifications. And then after that, I want to just start I want to let out my creative side more.
Mm,
So
really
those are
cool.
the kinds of projects I want to build, revisit some of my creative writing projects, things of that nature.
So mastering kind of like the engineering technical type stuff you're working on now, and then the next phase will be a little bit more tapping into your creative juices.
Yeah. Yeah. Once there's no more leaks and rusts and other things, then I can paint pretty pictures and write good stories, all that nice stuff. Well, I mean, yeah.
It's cool that
Sorry,
you
go ahead.
like doing both of those things too. I mean, I feel like we learn so much about you have like your left side of your brain and your right side of your brain, and you are only really good at one side of those things, and both of those sides involve different things.
I think it's really what you make of it. You know, it's if you believe it when you're told those things, then that'll be true. But you are really what you make of yourself. I always tell people, don't put yourself in a box. You know yourself better than that.
Mm-hmm. Does any part of you ever want to get back to teaching or think about it?
That's probably one of those things that I need to learn more about before I went back to it.
Mm,
I'm good at explaining things to people.
yeah.
I'm not so good at teaching. And yeah, and I think part of that has to do with how I learn things. So that's probably something I'd revisit it, but I want to learn more about how to be a better teacher first.
Mm, that's a good answer. I want to move into dating and relationships. So I'm really curious if you've been dating at all recently, and then if so, what are your preferences? Do you prefer meeting people on the apps? Do you like meeting people in real life? Do you like, having your choice and having a combination of both?
Yeah, so I I don't really prefer the app so much. I think that's probably a common feeling these days. So lately, most recently, and that's kind of how I learned about Eligible In, because I've been going to some local singles and speed dating and other events. Part of what I'd like to do, going to other places around the city and exploring, see what's going on. Found those events, and we're going to some of them. And that's been a great experience. Even if you don't make any connections, you still have a bunch of great conversations and a great night out. So that's been a good time. Otherwise, I do just try to meet people organically, either in person or online, just wherever I'm hanging out or talking to people. And again, even if you don't make any connections, you meet great people. And if you don't meet dates or potential partners, you make friends and other connections. So I just see it more as trying to put yourself out there in the world, exist as a person, and you should eventually meet your person.
Mhm.
But you
So it
definitely
sounds
won't meet your person if you don't do all.
right. So it sounds like you prefer going to events. There's an organized activity where it's an opportunity to meet other people. What are some of the reasons that you didn't like the apps? Do you feel like your personality shines better in person?
I think it's partly that, and then it's that, and it just feels like it's really hard to make connections with people, especially you have a bunch of people you're talking to, and but everyone's talking to you at once, right? So imagine you're in a room and 20 people are trying to talk at you at once. It's hard to pick one person out of that and really build a relationship with them. So
Mhm,
I just found the apps were great. They're great at finding people that are interested in you, but after that point, it's kind of hard to make more of the connection. Versus you meet in person, it just kind of flows more naturally.
mhm. And easier for you to talk to one person in particular if you're jiving more with that person versus it sounds like juggling, multiple
Right.
people and messages at the same time via the apps can be challenging.
Right. And plus, kind of like I said, once you're in person, you're not actually going to have 20 people in a room talking to you at once because people can see, oh, you're in a conversation. I'll wait, and then the conversations won't take all your time. People be like, I know you have other people that want to talk to you. I'll make this brief. Versus you're
Mhm.
on the apps and it's just all those conversations at once. Nobody knows what's going on. They're just trying to talk to you.
Mhm. Would you say are the qualities that you admire most in a partner or the values too? Qualities and values.
I would say, of course, honesty. I value honesty a lot, especially for myself as a person. Sometimes people might say I'm honest to a fault. Sometimes I've tried to learn to be better about that, but I do value honesty. But also, I like somebody that can kind of be like my partner in crime in a way. Like if we're in a zombie apocalypse, I have to know that you're at my back with the shotgun too. Uh, Not that if you can't do that, that's fine. I'll shoot zombies for two, but better survival odds if both of us are doing it. So that kind of like I don't know how you describe that, but I get someone that, someone that can be a partner in that way,
Yeah.
and well, and someone that's not afraid to like to speak their mind or their heart, or just be open and authentic and genuine. Especially because I like to think I'm not a very judgy or intense person too much. So it's and but I also value also kindness, like not like just generally caring about people and animals and the world. Yeah, someone that thinks about those things too. Those are probably the things I would admire the most when I see them.
Speaking of animals, do you have any pets? I can't believe I didn't start there. It's my favorite topic.
I used to have a cat, but currently I don't have any pets. But my roommate does have two cats, and we get along very well.
It's awesome.
I also get
It's
along with
great.
dogs.
It's great when your roommate has them and then you're like, "Cool, I get to play with them, but you own the responsibility."
Right, it's like having a friend that has a boat.
Yeah, same thing. Perfect. So convenient. Let's say that you were planning a date for this weekend in Chicago. What would that look like? What kind of things would you do?
I think it would kinda depend on the person and maybe what we have in common, and I feel like maybe this podcast is actually me advertising Chicago to people instead of myself, but like I've said many times, there's lots to do in Chicago, so you can kinda do whatever you want. All that considered, if I just had to plan a date tonight and go somewhere, do something, we'd probably start out by going to a barcade and playing some video games. I would like to get a high score at skee ball. I don't know if that would happen. And then, well, before we did that, go grab some ramen in the West Loop. There's a great underground ramen bar I know, and it's some of the best ramen you'll find.
It's awesome.
So
Sounds like
ramen, then a barcade, and then kind of see where it goes from there to start.
Are you okay with your date beating you in skee ball? Would you
Oh,
take
I'm
that
terrible at
chance?
skee ball. They probably will beat me.
Oh, okay. What about a game you're good at? Like, would you handle that
Oh,
well?
yeah, yeah. No, if people are better than me, then that's great as long as they're on my team.
It's a good way of thinking about it. So I asked you what qualities and values you admire in a partner. What are some of those of yourself? So what do you think makes you a catch or eligible, I should say?
Yeah. Also, I think I mentioned I try to be honest myself as well. So I do think I bring a lot of honesty to the table, and I think with that I bring a lot of authenticity. Like I don't know, I don't pretend too much. Kind of what you see is what you get. Sometimes that doesn't work out the best for me, but that's just always how I've been. I know a lot of things, so I'm great at trivia. If we go out to trivia, I got you. But I also with that I can also do a lot of conversation. So I bring I'm great at communication. It's not just talking like small talk, but if we need to have like real talks, I can do that. I just need to know that we're having a real talk and I can flip and be ready for it. So I guess I bring a lot of openness to the table, and I like to I try to be thoughtful. Sometimes I end up thinking about too many things, and I don't want to miss things, but I try to be as thoughtful as I can about all the things that I care about. And one thing I've definitely gotten better at with that over the years is prioritizing. What I might like a lot of things, but what do I really need to focus on in the moment? What do I really need to be thinking about?
Mhm. So it sounds like a lot of the qualities that you have in yourself are the ones that you're looking to be matched, with a partner. I think that makes a lot of sense.
People, I think, like to find compatible people.
Yeah,
But I guess,
totally.
yeah.
Yeah, you want that value alignment. In terms of sharing things with a partner, I would say what aspects of your life are you most excited to share? So is it your work, your hobbies, your friends and family, your passions?
I think honestly the thing I'm looking forward the most to is sharing each other. If you work on yourself a lot of the time, you can go on dates with yourself. You spend a lot of time with yourself. I'm more interested in maybe like this is my opinion on this. I like this thing. What do you think about it? And maybe we don't have to like all the same things, but that just to know someone else's perspective on something can make that thing that you've liked your whole life new, and then it can be exciting again for you. I guess in a way that's saying I'm excited to share all of that. and see it in a new light, and then also be introduced to another person's interests and their world.
Mhm.
But I think the one thing I'd like to know the most is like what like um I guess sorry, what I want to share the most would be like our reading and watching habits, because I don't know, that's I think that tell you a lot about a person, what they read and what they watch and all that.
Totally.
And if they're a writer, we definitely have to share our stories,
Mhm. Yeah. Can edit them with each other. Love that.
for better or for worse.
Would you, if your partner wasn't, if you're not interested in the same, watching sort of like TV shows as your partner, how do you handle that? Do you guys have like shared shows that you watch together and then separately you have shows that you binge, when the other person's not around?
Probably like that, but also probably having some compromises like, all right, what are the shows that you can't stand? Here are the shows I can't stand. Like, please don't put on Jerry Springer. Please, for the love of God, do not put
Throwback.
on Jerry Springer. And it's like, all right, and then I won't put on like The Boys. I know superheroes exploding isn't fun for you, or something like that. So we can compromise and probably have some shows we both enjoy, or at least some shows that's like, all right, I don't really like this, but I enjoy it enough. I can sit with you and watch it.
Right.
Yeah. I'll make commentary on the side about what these people are doing.
Yeah, exactly. You could hate watch it together. What do you need in a relationship in order to really connect with someone and feel fulfilled?
um, I think if we have honesty and openness and communication, I think those are some really solid bedrocks. Then all I would guess I would really need is just, a daily check in, even if it's as small as just a good morning and a good night, or a how was your day. Something where, I can, something where either of us could know how the other person's doing, and at least know how we're going to approach it, or if we need to approach it. And other than that, being open to the challenges or the successes that life might bring. Somebody that we can build something together that'll last through good times and bad times.
Just a plug to all of those out there listening. If you would like to connect with Justin, please reach out to us at hello@eligiblein.com or message us on social media. You can also check us out on EligibleIn.com and reach out to us if you want to be our next guest or if you'd like to nominate a friend to be a guest. Either way, we would love to have you on. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Eligible In, a production of Eligible In Media. Our theme song is by Monster Rally. If you see someone you like on our show, or if you would like to nominate yourself or someone you love to be interviewed by us, please visit us at EligibleIn.com for more information, including a link to subscribe to our newsletter, where you can stay up to date on our newest episodes, as well as exclusive features of our eligible people.